Have you guys seen all of the newest Pokemon Mega Evolutions? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think they're mid? Do you think they're strong? Well, in today's video we're going to be looking at every single one of those Mega Evolutions, and we're going to be talking about whether or not we feel this is going to have an impact on the future TCG Mega sets. What up? My name's Tom, welcome back to PoKaching. I hope you guys are all doing well. So like we said in the intro, we're going to be taking a look at every single one of the newest Pokemon ZA Mega Evolutions, taking a look at all of them, and a lot of people have been saying that these designs are pretty lazy or mid, so we're going to be taking a look at them, giving our honest opinion, and also talking a little bit about whether these are going to be impacting the potential for the future Mega Evolution TCG sets, because we talk about Pokemon cards here mostly, but yeah, let's take a look at them. Let's get started off with this Mega Clefable here. So I do have the PokeBeach page here so we can look at the typings as well, because I want to talk about typings to see if they kind of match up well with the design of the Pokemon. And although with this Mega Clefable I really don't like this hat thing, I think they could have just left it the way it was with I think it's kind of cool having the ears kind of like lowered down, but maybe they could have kept the way it was on top here rather than having this weird hat. But I do think that the wings do look very cool for a fairy type Pokemon, because it is fairy and flying, so that does make a lot of sense, really. And I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. This one isn't that bad, apart from this weird hat thingy, which I don't know if you guys like it, and I will be really interested to know what your opinions are on all of these in the comment section down below, so please drop a comment down below, let me know what you guys think about these Mega Evolutions, and whether or not you think they're going to have a negative impact on the future TCG sets for the Mega Evolution block for the Pokemon TCG. So yeah, I think this one's good, just I would have removed the hat and left its ears the way they were. Moving on, we have Mega Victreebel. So, I don't know, man, the design is kind of cool. Like a big bag with what I don't know what's in it, like dead Pokemon probably, like dead Rattata and Pidgey that are like just rotting inside its body. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but supposedly Victreebel eats other Pokemon or insects or whatever, so anyway. The thing is, it does look kind of cool, but it doesn't really feel like a Pokemon. Now, I don't know if you agree with me on that one, but I find that Victreebel actually looks kind of badass. And this guy looks a bit derpy, to be honest, but I guess the design and the idea is kind of cool, but it just doesn't really feel like a Pokemon to me. And I don't think this would be like a big chase, and I don't think the Clefable would be a big chase. Obviously, I'm just talking about the Pokemon in itself. Who knows what the artwork's going to be like? Who knows which Pokemon will be included in all the newest sets? We don't really know. Well, all we do know is that Mega Dragonite is supposed to be headlining the Mega Dream set, which is a specialty set that's going to be releasing in January, I believe, or actually very soon in Japan. I can't remember exactly when that's releasing, but yeah, we know he's going to be there, but we don't really know what the rest is going to be like. So it is a cool design. It looks a bit dumb compared to Victreebel, and it doesn't really feel like a Pokemon. That's my honest opinion. Next up, we have the one, the only, the creepy Starmie. Holy shit, is this, like, horrible. This sucks. Honestly, I don't like it, and I think a lot of people will agree with that. I don't get it. I don't see the point in this, really, to be honest. I think they should have just picked another Pokemon to make an Mega Evolution from, because this just feels extremely lazy, and it is creepy. Like, really creepy. I don't know why it needs legs, because nothing's really changed about this Starmie design other than it's got longer legs. Honestly, lazy, doesn't look good, creepy as hell, and I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of creepy memes with this thing, but definitely not going to be a chase, unless actually it becomes a meme, so much so that people actually want the card. I have no idea, but I don't like it at all, really don't. Moving on, we have the Mega Dragonite. Now, when I first saw this and I saw the wings on its head, I was kind of like, what? Why did they do that? Why didn't they just leave his wings where they were? But, you know, actually, it doesn't look that bad. It actually looks really good, in my opinion. The only thing I don't like is how thick his tail is. His tail is just huge, and I think that kind of looks a bit weird, honestly. And the pearl on his tail, now this is really a detail. I think it would have been cool if it stayed the same color as it was on Dragonair. just kind of keep some continuity within the evolution line, but it doesn't actually look bad, and I do think that they could do something really nice with this on a card in terms of artwork. They could do something really amazing. So I'm gonna say I actually do like the Mega Dragonite, to be honest. Just his tail is a bit overly, it kind of dominates a bit too much in my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. But the head wings, they kind of work, I guess. Now we have Meganium. Now I love Meganium as a Pokemon, and obviously I like Meganium to start with, so this isn't much different, so I do like it, but I do feel like, you know, just a bunch of flowers added on top there, or on the bottom there, it feels a bit lazy, to be honest. Whether or not this is going to be a huge chase Pokemon, probably not, to be honest, but it could have some really nice artwork, you know, thinking about all the kind of floral type designs that they could do if this was like a special illustration rare, or an illustration rare or anything like that. It could look really nice. But yeah, I do feel that this is a very lazy Mega Evolution, once again, in my opinion. You know, just adding a bunch of flowers on just feels a bit lazy. Moving on, okay, this one I'm kind of torn between. Like, I do like the idea of the kind of jaw coming over to make like a huge jaw. I wish it was more integrated within the actual design, so like not some weird bulky hood thingy that was just floating up above him all the time. But it would have looked cool if it was like more integrated with his head, and he had like this kind of like helmet thing on. That would look really, really cool. And maybe they could have worked on his jaw a bit more to make it look a bit more fierce as a Mega Evolution, because, you know, Feraligatr, obviously, you know, he is a crocodile. Oh, he's dragon type now, actually. They've put him up to dragon type, so that's interesting. And I didn't look at Meganium, so fairy type, dragon flying for Dragonite, water psychic for Starmie, grass poison for Victreebel. That's something I forgot to do. But yeah, dragon type. I just think they could have made it look a bit cooler with this part integrated into his body. Otherwise, I do think the idea is pretty cool. We'll see what this looks like in the TCG if it gets printed. Hopefully it does. Now we're moving on to Mega Skarmory, so let's see if this has changed. Still steel flying type, nothing new there. The design is really, once again, feels lazy. They changed his color and gave him huge claws, and that's about it. So yeah, honestly, I just prefer normal Skarmory here. This Froslass here, kinda cool, actually. I'm not a fan of Froslass. It's not like my favorite Pokemon. I think it looks pretty cool, but it's not like anything that I care too much about. But I do think this looks quite cool. It looks kind of like I guess a geisha. I guess that's what that whole ribbon thing is supposed to inspire. You know, so much taller, kind of an elegant shape. I do like these kind of icy horns on it. It makes it look kind of like a demon at the same time. And the kind of clouds. So obviously it's an ice type. So ice and ghost. So yeah, the clouds, kind of like frosty clouds there, makes it look really, really cool. So I actually do think this design is a very, very nice one, and it does make sense, and it looks really good for a Mega Evolution. So this one I absolutely approve. Moving on to Emboar. So Emboar here is a fire fighting type. I do think this looks cool. I think he looks pretty awesome. I like the whole spear thing going on there. It makes him look almost like a god. Very, very cool. Cool design. It's not too different from his original form, but then again, if we take a look at Mega Charizard, Mega Mewtwo, you know, a lot of the Megas that came out before, they weren't that much different from their original form, but they just had some kind of added things going on there. But yeah, very, very cool. I do like that one, so I approve that one for sure. This one I absolutely hate. Now, I don't know if you remember this. This is going to be for some of you older guys out there. So when I say older, I mean 30 odd, maybe a bit younger, maybe a bit older. Do you remember the Digimon toys where it was like an egg that would transform into like an actual Digimon? Well, this is what this makes me think of. Like, basically it was an egg, so you had to hide a lot of the parts within the egg, so that when you unfold it, it transforms and you have all the body parts, like all the legs and arms and head and all that kind of popping out. And this is what this looks like. It looks like a toy that's supposed to be folded up into an egg, and then it transforms. I really do not like this design at all, personally. I think he looks terrible, and it looked way better as just a regular Excadrill. So, I don't like that one, personally. Do not like it. Here we have a Mega Scolipede, so bug poison, I think nothing's changed there. Very colorful. I do feel like there's maybe this part here which isn't necessary. I don't know what the idea is there. All the rest looks pretty cool. I guess he looks a bit more aggressive, a bit more venomous with all the colors. You know how insects generally, you know, like really colorful insects kind of inspire, you know, tropical environments, more venomous insects. So yeah, that's pretty cool actually. It is pretty cool design. I just don't like this weird kind of, I don't know what that is here on the front there, but otherwise pretty cool. Moving on, we have Scrafty, I believe. Is that his name? Scrafty, yeah, dark and fighting type. Well, now I'm gonna try and be very sensitive here with what I say, but the thing is, a lot of people have kind of compared this kind of white hood to you-know-what. I'm not gonna mention it here in this video, but you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of torn between just because it's a white hood, it doesn't mean that it's that, but at the same time, I don't know, like they could have made it a different color just to kind of take any ambiguity out of the design, maybe. They could have maybe thought about that, because a lot of people have seen it and kind of thought about that, and I feel like the people behind it, the design team, probably could have thought of that too. But other than that, other than the hood, which is kind of questionable, yeah, he's kind of cool, pretty basic, not Pokemon that I particularly enjoy, but yeah, why not? Maybe just a different color for the whole, you know, hood and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know if you understand what I mean, but if you do, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one there. Moving on, we have Mega Eelektross, so water and electric, or just electric now, okay. I thought he was water type, never mind, electric. So we have the plus and the minus there, you know, for like an electrical current, like on batteries, plus minus. I kind of like his previous form more. Feel like it looks a bit better here. There seems like there's all sorts of bits kind of poking out everywhere, but then again, he looks alright, I guess. Just not a Pokemon that I particularly like. But yeah, I mean, does the job. Sorry, I'm kind of negative here. It sounds very negative. It's just that a lot of these I don't really care much for, and I don't actually like the designs. Here, Chandelure looks... I mean, they've added more pieces to the chandelier, I guess. And this one does have a crown, so it makes it look a bit more royal. So in that sense, yeah, it's cool. It works for a Mega Evolution. They've kept to the kind of... They've stuck to the design of Chandelure, so yeah, I'm gonna say that to me, this one, I approve. Now we have these ones. So these, I actually do think that they did a good job on these. So we have Mega Chesnaught here. So grass and fighting type. I do think that looks really cool, actually. I'm not particularly fond of this generation, but I do think that this design looks very cool. Looks very Christmassy with all the green, white, and red. But the design's cool. He looks solid. He's got like these big shields here. He's got like a cool kind of cape falling down. I do like this design. I think it looks really nice. Moving on, we have Delphox here. So very, very cool design on this one. So they didn't change Delphox much, but the fact that he's like surfing on like a broom that's on fire. This really reminds me of, and I don't know if you've seen this, if you've seen Fire Force. I can't remember what the character is called, but he like flies around on like flaming sticks. And that reminds me of that. But yeah, very, very cool design on this one. I do actually like that quite a lot. Moving on, we have Greninja. Greninja is a very chase-worthy Pokemon, and I do believe that if they do make an SIR of this in any of the newer sets, it will be a card or a Pokemon that a lot of people will be trying to get or trying to pull. As much as the design is very simple, because Greninja is supposed to be kind of like a ninja, obviously, I find it cool that he's upside down, floating on this massive water shuriken. I really do like the design of this one. I think it's really, really cool, even though it's very simple. So I absolutely approve this design, and I do think that if this comes up as an SIR or an illustration rare in the newest sets, that this one will be chased after, and I do think it will do well. Next up, we have a Mega Pyroar. Honestly, this just looks like Pyroar with some weird lumpy tumor fire shit going on top of his head. It looks terrible in my opinion. It looked better before. I don't like it at all. It just looks weird. Now, this isn't the best quality image, so we have a Mega Eternal Floette is what it's called. So it's fairy type. I guess kind of looks cool. I don't know, maybe. Not a fan of the Pokemon. Could look cool in the games, maybe. Maybe it's got like some cool, like really strong attacks now that he's got that massive kind of blade thingy over him. Yeah, he's got really strong special attack and special defense. I'm not a fan of this Pokemon to begin with, but yeah, I can't really say it's bad. I can't say it's good either. Kind of don't know. I'll let you guys let me know. So Mega Malamar, I don't like the Pokemon. I don't like his huge head, but I do think the design is really well made. I do think it looks really cool with a big ass brain there. You know, it's a psychic and dark type, so he does still look pretty evil. He's got a massive brain. Doesn't feel like a Pokemon to me, but the design is cool, even though I don't like it. So, you know, I'm trying to be objective here. Even if I don't like something, doesn't mean I can't recognize that it does kind of make sense or look cool. So yeah, I think that one's alright. Here we have a Mega Barbaracle. So I actually do like this one. Rock and fighting. I don't like the normal Barbaracle because it's kind of asymmetric, but this looks a bit better. It kind of looks like he's doing a, you know, like a rock and roll sign with his face. You know, with the thumb there, the fingers down, and the pinky and index sticking up. So, and it looks kind of like, I can't remember what the name is. Is it Ashura? The god with all the arms. Indian god, I believe, from Indian mythology. But yeah, it looks really cool. I actually do like this one. It looks much better than its previous evolution, in my personal opinion. And yeah, it makes sense. It looks awesome, and I think it could look really cool on the card. So yeah. Mega Dragalge. So it's Dragalge with big wings and a kind of big face. So it's poison and dragon type. I feel like it wasn't really necessary, and that the face here doesn't really add much to it. I can't say it looks bad, but then again, I don't think it looks amazing either. And I'm sorry if I seem very negative here. It's just that, you know, I just don't feel much for these new Mega evolutions. So yeah, I'm trying to be honest. I think a lot of people are kind of disappointed with some of them. If you do enjoy them, that's awesome, that's great. I'm happy for you that you do enjoy them, because I wish I did, but I don't, sadly. But yeah, guys, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. And if you like these kinds of videos, kind of like talking about new stuff, new reveals, talking about what could be happening in the next sets, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and definitely let me know in the comments down below what you think about all this. So we have a Mega Hawlucha here. I actually think this looks really cool. So he's kind of like got a nicer mask. He looks like he's kind of worked himself up the ranks in terms of fighting, and he's gotten himself a nice golden face mask and shoulder pad thing. Looks cool. I like it. It makes sense. Flying and fighting. Very, very cool. Yeah, I like it. Now we have this Mega Zygarde carrying a log. Don't like it at all. Moving on. Mega Drampa. I like this one a lot. This is one of the ones that I really like. It's probably one of my favorite ones. I think Drampa is a really cool Pokemon to begin with. Kind of like a cool, chill, kind of chill out dragon. Really peaceful, and here he looks pure evil and dark, and I think that looks insane. And he's normal and dragon type, so he's not dark type. But I think this Mega Evolution looks absolutely awesome, and if this card comes out as an SIR and has a really nice artwork, I would actually be very, very happy to chase this card. So yeah, Mega Drampa, absolutely 100% approve. I think it looks badass. Now we're moving on to Falinks. I don't like Falinks, but this design makes sense. You know, they kind of follow each other around. There's multiple of them. It makes sense for them to kind of like team up and become more powerful. And I like the whole kind of transformation here. One with a spear, one being a shield. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have like one big leader Falinks being carried by 2 other ones. This guy's struggling a little bit there. And we have these 2 here serving as a shield and as a spear. So yeah, makes sense, looks cool. I don't like it, but it makes sense. So I have to say, yeah, I approve. And that's it for all of the Mega Evolutions that have been revealed for ZA, and that will be in the upcoming Pokemon TCG sets. So now I'm going to talk about the TCG a little bit, talking about all of these Mega Pokemon that Pokemon are probably going to want to put into their newest sets, because they're the newest Pokemon. It makes sense for them to put them in. If they don't put them in, why did they make the newest Mega Pokemon? It wouldn't make any sense. So I would expect these to be in the newest sets. Now, they could just be put in as regular EXs, just to kind of get them out of the way. There could be a bunch of them included in Mega Dreams, just to get them out of the way. Once again, if they do something like Terrastal Festival or Prismatic Evolutions, where they put like 32 SIRs in the set, you'll be able to knock out quite a few of these and put them in the set. So there are ways of including them in the set and still making sets interesting with older Mega Evolutions. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they decide to do, what they decide to include in what sets. But if there aren't that many included in the Mega Dream set, I would expect that in the future sets, the future Mega sets, that there are going to be quite a few of these included. And you should expect to see them as higher rarities, so I'd say, you know, EX and above. So it could be illustration rares, as special illustration rares, maybe even just full arts or EXs and full arts. I guess we'll just have to wait and see once again, but that's my opinion on these. I don't feel that they're strong at all. I don't feel like many of these are chase worthy. The Greninja definitely would be. The Dragonite, I do think the Drampa's cool. I don't know if it would be, many people would chase it, but I do think the Mega Drampa looks cool. Otherwise, you know, maybe Delphox, maybe Chesnaught. Greninja definitely will do well. Maybe Chandelure, apparently a lot of people like that Pokemon. Maybe Emboar. Maybe Feraligatr and Meganium. Dragonite probably, yeah. Otherwise, nah, I don't think that these are going to be the most popular Pokemon or Mega Evolutions that exist. So that's my honest opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or maybe not? Maybe you agree on certain Pokemon with me. Maybe you agree with me on certain Pokemon, my opinion on certain Pokemon, and maybe you don't agree with me on all of them. So yeah, let me know. And don't forget, once again, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Tom. This is PoKaching. See you in the next one. Bye!